All right, back to the comments. It says move into MSTR. It's undervalued. And that's MicroStrategies. Okay, let's talk about MicroStrategies. Let's just get it out there. Before you ever think about investment, let's talk about first the management, right? I don't trust Michael Saylor. He's the CEO, chairman of the board, and he's in front of every camera he can get in front of to tell you buy Bitcoin. He's a big Bitcoin pusher. Not so much that his company's so great. It's just this is the power of Bitcoin. And this is what I want to buy. Great. Let me go buy Bitcoin then. Why would I want to buy MSTR? Oh, that's right. Because it's not volatile, right? Like that's the whole idea about buying asset-backed securities. If I'm going to buy in a security that's backed by Bitcoin, the idea is that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is volatile. It moves every day, even when the market's closed, 24 hours. Stock is a little bit more stable and doesn't have as much volatility. That's what it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be the narrative behind it. But Michael Saylor, the individual, is a con man to me. Like, this guy must sell tinted windows and or used cars because back in the dot-com bubble, accounting practices fraud, boom, got hit with a huge fine. And yeah, that's who you are, right? Maybe you change over the last 25 years. But then I saw what they're doing now with MicroStrategies, and it went from just buying Bitcoin with available bond money and or offering shares. Now he does a share offering, okay, at the market, and no one's buying. He literally offered $25 billion worth of shares, and no one's buying. So they invented preferred equity units, and they're selling those off with a fixed rate on a return, which sounds great to some people, 8% on a return, and you're like, this is what I'm getting. He's selling that off too. And what I mean by selling that off, he's diluting his company still today. They didn't buy Bitcoin, MSTR, when it was at the lowest. When it was at 22,000, 30,000, 40,000, he wasn't buying it. They didn't raise money in 2022, but people don't know why they didn't raise money. People just go, oh well, he's stupid. He didn't take the time to do it. No, you can't raise money. When the market's crashing, no one's going to buy. No one's going to loan you out money. When it's time to buy something, you better have the cash to do it. When it's time to buy, you probably won't because market's crashing. Everyone's talking. They're going, no, it's not the right time to buy right now. I'd love to help you, but I can't do it right now, man. I got to wait for all this to settle out. We don't know where the bottom is. It's hard to buy falling knives, right? So you want to have cash. So you want to raise money before it happens. They didn't do that. They raise money after. Now when the market's popping, going crazy, now they're getting their bonds in, and he's buying Bitcoin at the top, and he doesn't care. 119, it doesn't matter. He'll buy it at any price. But then he's telling everyone else to buy it. And that's where the net asset value ratio comes into play. If you look at NAV, okay, net asset value, well, how much am I paying a multiple for the assets that I'm buying? The multiple on Bitcoin right now that's given to MicroStrategies is not a real multiple. You can't go and tell me I'm going to buy MicroStrategies that is 100% Bitcoin. They lose $1 billion a year as a company, so they'll never get into the S&P 500. Just I'm buying something to hold Bitcoin. Well, great. Why don't I just go buy Bitcoin myself? Why do I have to buy you? Well, then Michael Saylor will tell you, well, I can find a way to keep buying Bitcoin because I can do preferred units, I can do more stock splits, and I can do more bond offerings. Okay, well, you're tapped out. They have no cash. I've already seen it. And they have convertible bonds that are becoming due really soon. So as they become due from 2026 all the way to 2029, what are you going to do? Dilute your current shareholders. This is why people are selling off this stock and no one wants to get in. You're saying it's undervalued. You're crazy. Have you not seen the run that it had over the last 5 years? I'd say you're getting real close to the top of it, but telling other companies and holding the Bitcoin conferences and telling them, hey, you guys should all go ahead and back all your assets with Bitcoin. The more you tell other people to do it, the less valuable you are. You're not insulating anything. What you're actually doing is bringing down your value. Because if I could buy a company like Tesla, like GameStop, that makes a profit, that's profitable, and has potential to get into the S&P 500, like GameStop, they're very close. That's what I'm going to buy because the multiple's better. It's a better company. But look at what you're doing. MicroStrategies, you're telling everybody to buy Bitcoin. When all these other companies start buying Bitcoin, they now have a better NAV than you because they have profits, because they have cash on the book, on the sheet itself. So when you're thinking about buying something like MSTR, what's their income statement say? Income statement says that operationally they lose $1 billion. What does their balance sheet say? Balance sheet says they have no cash at all. So they're just assets. That's it. They're just Bitcoin. Good. Give me some cash out of that. What do you got to do? You got to sell it, right? So what's going to happen? The value is going to go down if you were to do that. And they have bondholders that are coming due real soon. So if you're going to go buy MicroStrategies, you're going to buy the dilution that's coming your way? No. Sometimes you miss the boat. Sometimes you don't catch the wave before it goes up. And that's okay. Golf clap for everyone that catches something. You might not. Just let it go. Me, I've been in GameStop for 5 years, right? Look at me, okay? 5 years I've been buying GameStop. Every day. I buy a share a day, have over 1,000 something shares. And as I'm buying all these shares, and I've put in like maybe $30,000 of my own money, and I go, okay, I'm still here at $22 a share. Now it's about to run up because they make profits, they have cash, they have Bitcoin. Yeah, they bought $500 million of Bitcoin, but they also have $9 billion of cash. And they also make about almost, it'll be at the end of this year, it'll be like $500 million in profits. That's amazing considering they only have a $10 billion market cap. So you're telling me a company with $9 billion of cash, they make $500 million a year, and their market cap's, $10 billion? No way, dude. You guys don't understand. There's no multiple given to that company, but MSTR, they're already given their multiple. And it's unfortunate because Michael Saylor is selling a bag of shit to everybody. It's not the play. I think Jim Chanos is doing it the right way. He is shorting MicroStrategies and buying Bitcoin. So that's phenomenal. If you really think about it, like let it sit in. He's buying the asset that's going up in value and he's shorting that stock, selling it off. So he's lowering their value and bringing up Bitcoin, making them par with what they have to do, NAV. So now there's no multiple. There's no reason to buy it. If everybody knew how smart that is to short MicroStrategies and buy Bitcoin, that's phenomenal. You're actually taking away. And you know what the defense is by Michael Saylor? He says, well, I'll just raise more money and buy more. At some point, the money runs out. At some point, your time's up. And that's how Jim Chandler's going to win that trade. So it's fun to watch. But yeah, buying it now? Oh, you should have bought it in 2020 or 2021. That's when you should have bought MicroStrategies, not today. Peace.